Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to episode 8 of the Dynamite Fox Power Hour. We got a great show for you today. We got the American Suzuki Mikaze on the show. He's made some big appearances we're going to talk about. Doing a lot of big things, acting. Before we get into that, let's go into our contest. Remember, we're giving away 2 free movie tickets. All you have to do is go to our Facebook page and hit the like button. You can do that by going to dynamitefox.com and click on the Facebook button. It'll take you right to the page. Hit the like button and you automatically enter to win 2 free tickets to AMC theaters. All right, I made that quick, right?
Yeah, that's good. Really good.
All right. I felt like I was forgetting what to talk about. On the phone, we have Sarath Tan. He's known in the wrestling world as the American Suzuki Mikaze. He has a show coming up. March 6th through 8th is the Boston Pro Wrestling Marathon. It's a benefit to benefit the American Red Cross. It's at the Emerald Hall at 30 Central Street, Abington, Massachusetts. So if you go to our website, you'll be able to find information on Sarath, aka Mikaze, and also where to buy tickets for that show.
Yeah. And it's when? March 6th?
March 6th through 8th. Yep.
March 6th through the 8th.
I will be on the March 7th show.
On the March 7th show.
There's 4 shows in 3 days, and I will be on the evening show on March 7th. But
Nice.
Go check out the entire weekend because it all benefits victims of the Boston Marathon bombing.
Absolutely. So, guys, you heard him. Boston Pro Wrestling Marathon, March 7th is the show where you can find the American Suzuki Wrestling. But still, check out all 3 days if you can. It's at Emerald Hall in Massachusetts. Again, go to our website, dynamitefox.com, to get more information. I'll also give you that information again at the end of our show. So, that said, Sarath, how you doing, man?
What up? Okay, well, first off, you already said it 3 times, and if I could reach to the phone, I would and choke you. It's the American Sasuke.
I always get that wrong.
I ain't no motorbike, son. Yeah, Sasuke, just like the Naruto.
Sasuke, got it. American Sasuke, got it.
And that's what we wanted to ask you. Where'd you get your name from? What inspired you?
My original wrestling name was Kid Mikaze, and I kind of stole that from Billy Kidman. Around the tail end of WCW, he used to do the shooting star to the outside on the people, and
right.
They used to call it move the Kid Mikaze. And I thought it was dope, so I just stole that name. And then after a while, everybody just called me Mikaze, so I just dropped the Kid. And then at the time, I wasn't wrestling with a mask, but when I started wearing a mask, I added in the American Sasuke, which loosely translates to the American Ninja. So the American Ninja Mikaze, basically what it translates to.
Awesome, awesome. So what inspired the character of the American Sasuke Mikaze?
All right, well, I started wrestling in like 2001. I started training in 2000, and up until about 2006 or 7, like I never wrestled without a mask. So like when I go out there, I'd do like my athletic stuff, and it'd be all cool and all, but like it'd just be another dude in the ring doing flips,
Right.
And I felt like there was I needed something for like the kids to connect to and stuff like that. So I always thought about wearing that half mask like a ninja. So, at that point I just decided to start doing it. And that's where I basically just wanted a reason for like the crowd to look past the athletic stuff and look towards the story being told in the ring. So like, when you see just an athletic person doing stuff, you can't help but be like, yo, that kid can do some shit. And you kind of you don't pay attention to the story he's trying to tell.
Right.
Yeah.
But when like with a ninja mask and you see a ninja in the ring, you're like, okay, he's a ninja. That's how ninjas move. So when you get that out of your head, you look at what he's doing in the ring and why he's doing it. So it's more of a way of just getting the crowd to like pay attention to me more. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, your matches are really good, but I really do like it.
I try, you know.
Yeah, we recently watched the match with Mr. 450, and you know, watching you hit that barricade twice and get the holy shit chant was pretty fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
we got in trouble.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Because like on the pre-show, they had these two girls. They had a match, and they ended up going into the barricade. But the side they went into was like right near the crowd. So when they hit it, the barricade slid and almost hit like the fan. So like the promoter's wife or whatever was going off on people in the back. We weren't near them when she was doing it, but like I guess she was pissed off saying, "Don't nobody going into the barricade." We had already had it planned. We got it, and we had it like. They had already told us, yo, it's cool, do it. But then when we did it, I guess she went back there and started screaming again. And, so, I don't know. We didn't know about it. All we knew was they said, "Oh, I can do it." And like Raven was helping like produce the show and stuff. So like when we brought the idea to him, he was like, "Yo, you should do it like this instead." So we did the way he told us. Like, he took the heat for us.
So Raven just went right under the bus for that one, huh?
He was just like, "Yeah, you know, we told him to do it."
I don't see Raven being the guy that gives a fuck.
I don't think he really cared, but it was just, you know,
bottom line is it was a great match.
Yeah.
It felt great. That was the first time I ever worked him, and it was really good chemistry in the ring. So I look forward to working with him like any other time. So.
Yeah, I mean, do you have a couple of really like off the wall moves? I like when you run up the ring post with the moonsault.
I just started doing that. Like I used to do that like just in general. Like I'd be like in a park and running up trees and doing backflips, running up walls. And I never thought about using it in a ring. And I saw AR Fox do it, where he did it, where he stepped off the pole and did it. I always thought it was dope, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it too.
So what's that thing called? Like, was it parquet or something like that? Or
yeah, like parquet.
Parkour, man.
Parkour. Yeah, is that what it is? That like, do you do a lot of that?
I like loosely. Like I started practicing. Like once I moved down to Florida, I started doing something a little bit. I go to like, when I lived in Tampa, I used to go to like gymnastics places and practice. And you know, if I can, I'll go to a park and practice. But like, it's not something you want to practice alone because if you get hurt, you know, shit's going down. You can't get back to your car. So
right,
be stuck out there in that Florida heat.
Yeah, I'll be fucking getting toasted in the park, trying to just yell like one of them old lady commercials.
Falling and I can't get up.
I need to get one of those monitors that hang around their neck so you can just hit the button.
True.
Something else we wanted to ask you is what wrestlers did you study and who inspired you, you know, wrestling wise?
Okay, my favorite wrestler of all time, like bar none, is Rey Mysterio Jr.
Rey Mysterio?
Like, that dude, yeah, Rey Mysterio Jr. That dude is just incredible. When I used to watch him in WCW, like, he was doing stuff, like, I used to go do, like, backflips and flips, or just in general. But when I saw him, he was doing stuff that I did normally, so I was like, oh, so it really connected. And then, plus, you know, me and him are, like, the same height. So, like, it really resonated with someone like me. Like, he's my height. He's doing the things I like to do. I think I can do that. So I really, like, watched him a lot as far as, like, style of wrestling. But studying to, like, become a good wrestler, like, I used to watch Eddie Guerrero and like, Ricky Steamboat. Like, I really, like, I love characters. You know, good wrestlers are great, but I love people who are, like, you know, out of this world. So when Ricky Steamboat used to come out and breathe the fire,
yeah,
right,
like,
yeah,
I loved it. And then I used to watch like LOD. LOD was like one of the best tag teams I've ever seen, like the Steiner brothers. Just people that were just really like over the top. Like I couldn't take my eyes off them.
So you really enjoyed the showmanship of it too.
I love the spectacle.
Right.
The spectacle means that's one of the reasons why I put on a mask. Like the spectacle means more to me than the wrestling. And when I started, I cared about trying to be the greatest wrestler, trying to do the dopest moves, trying to just be like this dude that everybody was like, holy shit, he's insane. After a while, it's just like I started caring more about the show being put on. Like, do people connect? Would they pay money to come see this again? Like that's what really struck a chord with me. I just started thinking back to like, the stuff I liked when I was little, and started putting that into my wrestling and not worrying so much about the moves I did anymore.
Right, and the cool thing is you found a really cool way to merge the two, like really perfectly.
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves ninjas, right? Like,
yeah, exactly. Who doesn't love a ninja?
Yeah.
So, that said, especially with like the ninja style and that sort of thing, have you had the opportunity yet to wrestle outside of the country or in other states?
Other states, yes. I've wrestled. I think I've wrestled in just about every state on the East Coast, except for maybe South Carolina and Georgia. I'm pretty sure I've hit about every state now. Maybe Virginia had not that one, but when I was around the 2005, 2006, 2007 time, like, is when I was traveling a lot. Like, I was based in New England, but I was going down to like Jersey and Philly and Delaware all the time. So, yeah, I mean, overseas, I've never wrestled overseas, which it's pretty much my fault. Like, I think if I had pushed harder when I was younger, I could have like gotten those opportunities. But like, that's just me just not being on my grind as well as I should have been.
If you had the opportunity now, would you take it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, at this point, like, it's one of those things that it's once in a lifetime. You got to do. If you get the opportunity, you got to do it. Like, there's no sense in not doing.
I think especially with Japan, some of those guys over there, I think it would be awesome to see that match.
Yeah.
Well, that's the thing about Japan. Like, to me, I could never see them in Japan bringing me over. Maybe that's just me being naive. I always thought, like, why would you spend, maybe I'm just looking down on myself, but why would you spend the money to bring someone over who looks exactly like everyone else here in this island?
Right.
Like, why would, like, if you're gonna spend the money, bring like a big black guy over, or a big white, someone who looks different.
Yeah, we've been seeing a lot.
Do you think that's why Albert got over so well over there?
Yeah, I think like guys like Albert, even non-wrestling guys like Bob Sapp and MMA, like guys that are like different and like larger than life, get over huge over there. I mean, you have a whole island of like Asian guys who can like do flips and do stuff like that. So bringing me over isn't anything specific. Maybe with my mask that adds a little more to it, and that could do you want to bring over the mask guy versus another Asian guy?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but
I mean, it doesn't help that I'm a dark-skinned Asian, so like I can pass for Mexican too. So that kind of like same thing applies to Mexico. Like, would you bring over somebody that can look exactly like you? But maybe that's just me being naive. I don't know.
Right. I mean, it still make for some great matches because like there's guys like Nakamura over there and guys like that I'd love to see you wrestle.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I'd love, like, my boy Taka Suzuki. He wrestled in America for like 2 or 3 years before he finished college and had to go back to Japan. But we used to tag a little bit in the Northeast, and like I would love to get in front of a Japanese crowd and wrestle him.
Right.
And just go, like, because we've had a couple matches here that we both went nuts in. So like if we did it there, I think it would go huge.
Absolutely.
Well, you've done a TNA pay-per-view, One Night Only. How'd that opportunity come about?
Well, one of the things about wrestling is it's 90% of who you know. So as far as like the TNA thing went, a friend of mine who's a producer for Total Divas, she had passed my name along to a friend who writes for TNA, and they were in town filming the One Night Only stuff, and so he just called me up and asked me if I wanted to do it. I mean, it's as simple as that. Just names got passed around, and he saw videos of me, liked what he saw, and said, "Hey, come on down for this."
So you had a match with DJ Zima, am I correct?
Yeah, DJ Z. Yeah.
How did that? Being that I don't think that's aired yet, has it?
No.
How did that match go?
The match went good. It went good. Like, it was early in the day, so I think the crowd was a little quiet for it, but maybe we just didn't work hard enough. But the wrestling itself, it got good reaction from people in the back. Like, other wrestlers liked it. Al Snow liked it. So, I mean, it felt like it went good. I mean,
Awesome.
As
I
good
mean,
you know.
it's a hell of a step, you know.
Step in the right direction.
It's like, it's definitely like, you know, any avenue I can take to get more eyes on me is, you know, always a plus. So that, you know, that helps out a lot. I mean, the it's not going to air for like another 5 or 6 months, so it's going to be a while before people see it. But hopefully, you know, when it happens, I get some notoriety before then, and then put that together. It allows me to charge more.
Absolutely. That's, you know, you definitely got to make that work in your favor.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, coming from that point now, I believe this match happened before that pay-per-view. If I'm wrong, correct me. But the match with Matt Sydal, who was Evan Bourne back in WWE, how was that match, and how did that come about?
That match came about because the guys at Ronin Pro Wrestling in Miami wanted to put me up against, you know, high-level flyers. Like, I mean, the guys that book it, the guys that run that company, like, I've known for a while. They know what I could bring to the table, and so they had said, you know, we want to put you up against the best so you guys can just go off and, you know, do your thing. You know, I thought the match went good. I thought I could have performed a little better, you know, but, like, to me, I think I might have psyched myself out or made myself too nervous because, like, you know, it's a step up in, you know, in experience and a step up in level. So, like, you really got to bring your A game. I think I might have made myself a little too nervous, so I didn't perform as best as I know I could. But other than that, I thought it was a good match.
I mean, I think that's pretty fucking dope that they gave you the ball to run with on that. You know, that's
like.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just saying yeah.
Yeah, you know, they gave you that ball to run with. You know, that Matt Sydal's, you know, that's a big thing, and that's, again, just like I said before, another big step up. You know, into getting your name out there, and that's a match. You know, that's a match that's another one I absolutely want to see. I did check for it. I guess it's not out yet. It's one of those things where once all these matches surface, holy shit.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where, like, when you wrestle people of that caliber, like, even if you're on a small show somewhere where there's only 20 people, because of their name value, it gets more eyes on you.
Yep.
So, like, I'm grateful for that opportunity at all. Like, I would, if I was in a parking lot at Walmart during that match, I'd have been happy because you know, I just know that people are going to be searching out that match, and then after seeing it, you know, it could just open up a lot more doors for me.
I mean, that's the kind of thing, like, I used to dream of. Like, I told you back when we met, when we were doing that film together, you know, I came up training under Homicide and Lathon, Low Key, guys like that, and you know a lot of those same guys. You know, like, that was something I always wished could happen. So that's a huge step.
Yeah,
for
like,
you to make.
And the thing is, like, when those opportunities come, like, you never know when they're gonna come, but when they do, you gotta make the most of it. And me personally, I think I could have made more. I could have taken a bigger opportunity with, like, I just look down on myself. Like, if we're looking back at that match, I just see all the holes in my own game, things I could have done to, like, really take that match to the next level. But that's just stuff I need to work on for the future.
So you're studying yourself in order to progress, which is dope.
Yeah. I think as a wrestler, like, 9 out of 10 wrestlers are always going to watch their own match and just see everything they could have did better. That and, like, the little tips he gave me after, like, the things you don't think about when you're in the ring. You might not even think about them beforehand, but after someone points them out, like, it really, like, you go to look back and you're like, damn, yeah, he's right. You can do this different. You can do this different. It really just opened your mind up.
I see. Well, now that the internet's is here, and it's just, you know, it could take wrestling matches to, like, a whole different level. Where, for example, like, I didn't have the privilege to, like, to watch matches from Japan, but now the internet's here, I can go watch something from Japan. So if somebody hears Matt Sydal and hears your name, they can just go and pick it up and look it up and watch it, and you can just, you know.
you can expand from there. You can build a fan base, a huge fan base, just off that.
Yeah, I mean, especially with the internet now and YouTube and the fact that there's so much, film out there of wrestling, like, you can really study a lot of different styles, and it's a lot easier to get your name out there. Because, like, I mean, back in the day, like, even when I started, like, the internet was just really starting to pop, but, like, it was a lot of tape traders back then, so, like, a lot of times you'd do a match, and people wouldn't see it for, like, 6 or 7 months because that tape just had to make its round.
Yeah, right,
So, I mean, I think nowadays, like, you can really make a lucrative business out of your own brand name just by the mere fact that you're able to get your stuff out there right to the fans the way you want it. So.
Well, speaking of getting out there, you were recently on Main Event and Superstars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was building it up.
For those that don't know, Sarath made an appearance on WWE Main Event and Superstars as a Rosebud. So tell us how that came about and what that experience was like.
All right, well, to be an extra and do the Rosebud stuff, like, you got to go to, like, the WWE recruit site. You got to keep your stuff up to date, and you got to really just, like, keep on them. I mean, I don't hound them. If you hound them too much, they'll just not, be interested in you. But, like, and just keep yourself relevant enough in their eyes to where when they're in your area, they'll bring you in as an extra. Sometimes you might do something. Sometimes you might just sit behind. Like, I was just on Main Event and Superstars, but the week before I was an extra for NXT TakeOver Rival and the NXT tapings the next night, and I didn't do anything at both of those. But then, Raw and SmackDown and all that comes, and I get to be a Rosebud on those. So, I mean, those you just got to really keep yourself relevant in their eyes enough to where they want to bring you in, and don't make don't leave a bad taste in their mouth with how you act. So you got to be professional, and that stuff can just keep you going.
Absolutely. So, what's that like? National TV getting clocked by Adam Rose. He turned you inside out pretty bad, man.
Well, Darren Young turned me inside out.
I'm sorry, Darren Young. Sorry, you're right.
It was good. Like, I mean, TV is a whole nother beast. Like, you got guys who will devote their life to being the best technical wrestler in the world. But, like, when you get in front of, like, WWE cameras, it's a whole nother world. You have to take into account the announcers, what they're talking about. You got to take into account camera angles, replays. Like, it's a TV show. Anybody who walks into it thinking they can just do their wrestling thing and succeed is they're kidding themselves. Like, I mean, before the show happened, I got the chance to, Road Dogg had me running over a couple of different camera angles because they were checking out, like, one of the GoPro cameras that were inside the turnbuckle.
So those are the new ones, yeah.
Yeah, so I just got to do a couple things into the corner so you can test out the angle. But, like, just little things like that, like, if you get hit, you go a certain way, your face still shows on camera. It's just little things like that are really stick out and makes you realize that there's a whole nother side to wrestling besides what we do on the indies. But yeah, that was fun. Like, that's actually not the worst thing that's happened to me on WWE TV. Like, if you go back and look in 2012, when Ryback was making his big, thing and beating up jobbers, you look up in June 2012, look up Rutherford P.S. Hayes. And me and the other guy went out. We got to cut a promo. We got to make an entrance. And then we got to get our asses kicked by Ryback.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, where are we in? All right. So the next question now is, now that you've done all of the above that we've talked about, is a point going to come where you try out for NXT, or have you tried out for NXT?
Well, I don't think anybody ever, like, goes out and tries out for NXT. I think you just go out and do your thing as best as you can, and then they call you and bring you in and say, we want to look at you. So it's not really up to me. All I can really do is just do my thing to the best of my ability and keep making a name for myself. And hopefully that hits their radar. I mean, before SmackDown, I got to do like a little tryout match for Regal, and he gave me good positive reviews, and he said it was, I work real good in the ring, but just, make a name for myself. Like outside, like just build up my fan base, because, at the style I wrestle, there's guys out there like Ricochet and Rich Swann who have a fan base. So if they were to get signed, they'd bring their fan base with them. Someone like me whose fan base isn't that big, who would you want to bring in? The guy coming in with 30, 40,000 fans, or the guy coming in with 1,000 fans, So,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you basically just have to keep busting ass to
Yeah, pretty much.
let the hard work pay off.
Yeah, it's weird because at this point in the industry, like if you bust your ass hard enough on the indies, you can make a good living and not even have to go to WWE. Like,
Really?
You could, like kind of like the the Young Bucks, like those
Yes.
guys. Those guys, you hear about them everywhere, and they put on great matches, but they sell themselves like crazy, and those guys are like making a killing on the indies to where they seem like they're okay doing their thing the way they can. Like they don't work for a boss, they work on their own time, they do their own thing, and they're happy. Like you can't be mad at someone that does something like that. And just the way media is right now, and the way like you're able to get out and promote yourself, like you can make a lucrative living doing stuff like that. It's hard as hell, but I think once you get to that point, it frees. I think it frees up like your mind, like that state of mind where you can relax and just do your thing the way you want.
Definitely. So Tony,
Yeah, well, like you said, you've been busting your ass. We've heard that you do wardrobe. Well, like
design for
designs
some of
and
the
stuff like that.
Superstars and Divas.
All my tights, yeah.
Yes.
Like I've been making tights since I started wrestling back in 2000, 2001. Like what happened was when I started training, I was still in high school. I just started my senior year of high school. So I purposely took a sewing class just because I knew at some point I was going to need tights. And they basically taught me how to use a machine. And once I started making my own stuff, and it just snowballed. Like people see your stuff, they like what you want, and they ask who makes it. Once they find out it's you, it just, it carries over, and pretty soon you're making gear for a lot of people. I do make stuff for like WWE people. Like I make Sasha Banks' all of her gear ever since she's been on the Indies. I make her stuff. I make the ring vest that Luke Harper wears to the ring. I do a lot of the divas in NXT. Bayley, Becky, some of the guys every so often, Jason Jordan and Ty Dillinger, I've done their stuff.
Wow.
I did some of Scott Dawson's earlier stuff. Yeah, so like there's a bunch of people that there's stuff that I've done. I did like when Summer Rae was doing the Dancing for Fandango, and she just like started transferring over to wrestling. I used to do all the stuff that had all the fringes on it and stuff like that. So.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a lot of cool. Wow.
You recently got mentioned in the Miami Herald for it by I believe it's Bayley, right?
Yeah. Bayley, like that girl, like with her kind of gear, it's fun. Like some of the people, I've done enough of their gear to where they trust my judgment, and when they trust my judgment, I can really like play. They might give me like maybe some color schemes, or they might tell me I really want to use this color, but my personality, just go with it, and then I just hit it off and do my thing.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And I maybe like I don't hit it out of the park all the time, but I think more often than not, they've always come back like really happy with what they got. And so.
Well, I'm a really big fan of Luke Harper's vest. He's like one of my top favorite guys in the WWE right now, actually.
Yeah, I like making his stuff. His stuff it pushed me to do like really detailed stuff like that. The vest that he has, the olive green one that has the light and the darkness on the back with like the chair and the tree, like all that is done by hand stitching. Like all the details of the light is all done by hand. It's not like paint or anything. So it's all going in with a machine and hitting every line just to get the right highlights and everything.
Wow, so that's phenomenal work. Like I said, I follow a product, especially like seeing it's funny like watching some of the divas and some of the guys that are wrestling and going, man, I think Sarath probably made that. You know.
Yeah, like it's weird. The thing is, like, I think sometimes you can't appreciate gear as much on screen as you can in real life. Because, like, one of the big things people are doing now is they're putting a lot of gems on their gear, and like on TV it doesn't really show up well, but like, you know, in person, someone like Sasha Banks or like Chris Jericho or stuff like that, like, their gear really sparkles under the lights, and it makes them feel like they're like larger than life.
Right, and I think maybe them being able to get that feel helps them to give the performance that they might want to, you know, that larger than life feel. So, you know, anything that's going to help them build on what they're doing, I think is awesome. Yeah,
like, I mean, for a wrestler, the big thing is, like, you might be the same height as someone in the crowd. Someone in the crowd might be bigger than you, but like when you walk out to that ring, you have to exude this persona like you're above everyone else, and like a really good, you know, wrestling gear is what really helps in that.
Definitely. So let me ask you another question. Outside of the wrestling stuff, you do a lot of acting.
Yes, I do. That's where I met you, man.
Yeah, that is where we met. Getting shot up on the set of a film.
I know people don't realize we was playing, what, like Dead Man number 2 and 3?
Yeah, Dead Man 2 and 3, man. Shooting shit up.
Singing Boys to Men in between takes and shit. Yeah.
No, dude, you started the fucking Lion King song while we were dying.
Dude, because I was like, they had us laying in that position for like 20 minutes. I was bored. So
I think it was more than 20 minutes. We were laid out, man. And then...
Dude, and that fake blood was cold as hell, too.
Yeah. Tony, like, my brother, this is my brother here, Tony. Me and Sarath, we sat there in that cold, and then what was the other guy's name? I can't remember his name.
It was Ricky.
Ricky. It was 3 of us. We're laid out in this fake blood, covered up, laid out, and this dude Sarath, while we're trying to hold straight faces for the camera, starts singing The Lion King.
Dude, I sang The Lion King. I sang like Celine Dion.
Yes.
Britney Spears.
All kind of shit. And then at some point, we just had to say fuck it and start joining in. So he would finish a line, go back in the dead position, and I'd pick my head up and I'd start singing. Dude, we had everyone laughing. Like, the cameraman, everyone was dying.
Dude, I think the teacher and maybe like the first AD was like getting a little upset because like we was disturbing the crew.
We were, but you know, when you lay down on the floor for that long, covered in cold ass blood, you got to do something fun, man.
Yeah, I know.
So
like, it was always fun. Like they gave us those guns to run in the warehouse. But that set was dope too. That warehouse set.
Yeah, it was.
They gave us those guns to run in with. Like but every time they said cut, we had to give up the guns, so we had to keep ourselves, you know.
Yeah, man. So, what kind of role? What's been your most recent role?
My most recent role, I just recently wrapped this short film. It's actually a thesis film for the master's program at Full Sail, but it's called By the Tail. And the story is this football player, his daughter that he does rarely see, is coming to visit for her birthday weekend, and he tries to buy her a gift. So, you know, him being the baller that he is, he buys her a tiger cup, and they end up delivering a full-size tiger, and now, you know, we're trying to get rid of it from the house. I played his best friend / personal assistant / like his go-to guy. So I'm the dude that had to put the tiger in the bedroom and all this stuff. So yeah, it was fun. It was hilarious. Like, it was a really like well-run set. We had fun. They let me improv a bunch of lines just because it's comedy, and like it was a blast. Like, I had so much fun doing that movie.
Right. Well, before I even Tony's gonna ask another question. Before we get into that, being that you mentioned the improv, and this leads right into that, you did some improv for a while that was based around superheroes.
Yeah. Like, it was only like 1 or 2 shows. What happened was these guys from Full Sail, they put together this thing where they were doing an improv show where they had us dress up as superheroes, and then as the superheroes, we had to do improv. And so, we had like this lineal story. Like every game and scene followed like this lineal story. To by the end, like we, stopped Darth Vader and Loki. But I played my character was Spider-Man, so I got to go in there and just do like some agile stuff and just play around for a few hours, and it was dope. And like the same people, they did another one that was like Halloween based, so I went into that one dressed as Johnny from the Karate Kid, in the skeleton suit. Yeah. Yeah, and like we did that, and then we just did like a whole improv show for kids based on like Halloween stuff. So yeah, improv is through that. It's such a release. Like there's nothing better as far as like getting your nerves out than like being put on the spot in front of a group of people and just having to go. Like just letting your mind go, letting all that nervousness get out of you and just doing your thing. Like it's so good. Like because of that, I really want to step into trying stand-up comedy, because I've always like written comedy material, but like that rush of doing improv, I want to see if stand-up comedy can do the same thing.
Nice. That might be the next thing I give a shot to after those films. I might actually try that.
Yeah, like I'm really pushing for like my stand-up comedy, my acting, and my writing. Like I wrote a novel that I've been trying to sell to some publishing companies. I'm probably at the point where I'm going to self-publish it, but I'm really trying to find other creative avenues to pursue, because I can't get beat up for the rest of my life. I don't. So, yeah.
Well, you said that you dressed up like superheroes and all this, and I saw like one of your matches you were wearing like the Black Spider-Man symbiote outfit. So,
my Venom suit, yeah.
Yeah. So that leads me to believe that you're a big fan of comic book superheroes and whatnot. Are you into any of the superhero shows that are out right now, or do you read any comics on your spare time?
I love comics. I don't really read like the ones that come out like every week, every month. I like to read graphic novels. Yeah. So like I read like Marvel 1602 is really dope, and Watchmen is dope, and things like that. Like I love comic books, but I don't have the time to devote to reading as much as I want to. Like as far as the TV shows go, I think like the last superhero TV show I really paid attention to was Smallville. Like I have people tell me all the time I need to watch Arrow and Flash.
Yes.
But I haven't had a chance to.
Yes, I'll tell you the same thing, Sarath. Arrow is the shit.
I watched the first 3 or 4 episodes of Arrow, and then I stepped away, and I didn't. There was nothing great about those first couple episodes that really had me going I got to go back and see. So I heard it gets better after those episodes.
That was my thing. I watched the first 3 or 4. I think that's exactly what I said to Mike. I saw it on Netflix and I was into it, but not I don't feel like my life's gonna end if I don't watch the rest, And I think maybe that's what it is.
I think I was the only one who disagreed with everyone. I was intrigued from the first episode all the way through.
You, Rich, and a bunch of other people I know who are really into the show. Me personally, I can't get into it.
I feel like if you don't like Arrow, you won't like The Flash.
Well, everybody I know that watches Arrow loves it, but they all said I have to stick with it for at least half the first season. Once it gets to that point, it really picks up. I'm really excited for seeing where Gotham goes. I watched the first 2 episodes and I liked what I saw. I don't like that they talk about Bruce Wayne a little too much. I don't think he should be prominent at all in that show. But I like the direction they go with that.
So do you feel Gordon should be the more prominent guy in the show?
I came up with this idea for a TV show a long time ago, and it's kind of along the same lines as Gotham, where it's more like a police procedural that just happens to have superheroes in there.
Right.
But I think this one, Gotham goes a little more leaning way more towards comic book than it does a regular cop show.
Yeah.
But what I wanted to do with that show was the idea, the premise behind it was, how would everyday people the dude that works at the pizza shop, the news reporters, the regular police, how would they react if all of a sudden a superhero appeared?
Okay.
Right.
Like it's more about like how does the cops like how do the cops believe this dude is here to help? Do the reporters think he's here to help? Or do they think he's a menace? So the idea was like you learn about the superhero
Through the
as
people.
if you were a normal person living in the city versus watching them go through how they solve crimes.
Definitely.
Yeah, no,
definitely.
that sounds
so.
pretty dope.
So, are you all the way caught up on Gotham?
No, he said, yeah, I think you could
No,
start the
I'm
first
not.
two.
Oh, you said you just caught the first two.
Yeah, well, like, especially now, like, it's funny because you just mentioned it, like, it should be more about Gordon. And, like, the past two episodes, it seems like it's more about, everything else but Gordon.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they should be showing how the Penguin becomes the Penguin. I don't care how the Penguin becomes the. I want to watch Gordon solve everyday crimes, like everyday murders, and it just so happens that the person that hired that person is the Penguin, and it has something to do with his master plan. But like, you don't really get to see his point of view. You get to see like fucking people on the street that are going crazy because there's a serial killer out or something.
Yeah.
See, I agree with that, except like that's my thing with the Joker, and I think that's everybody's thing with the Joker. The same idea that no one wants to know why the Joker is the Joker. I don't think no one cares to know. It's the fact that he's fucking awesome the way he is, and we don't need the backstory.
Well, I think that just comes from like all these superhero, like you see so many origin stories that like everybody. I understand that like a lot of times people need a reason to do things, whether good or bad. There's usually something happens to them. Like, but I think at this point, people are just so tired of seeing that story that they're just like they want to believe that hey, some people are just fucking bad, some people are just good. So,
Yeah.
Right.
one of the things, yeah.
So so going from there, do you play any video games for our video game audience? Are you into that at all, or anything recent?
I love video games. I don't get as much time to devote to it just because of all the wrestling and tights and stuff like that. But like right now I'm trying to build up my character in Grand Theft Auto Online because once the heists come about, like I need my character's level to be high enough that I can take part in the heist.
Yeah, I was actually just reading up on that. I think IGN just posted something. Like, that's actually coming
Yeah,
very soon.
Yeah, they said the heist should be starting in like March for like for like the consoles and like April for PC.
And
So-
do you play on a console or do you play on PC?
PlayStation 4 all day.
So am I.
PlayStation 4. Do you guys play Xbox?
I have a 360 there. I haven't turned it on God knows how long, but I have the PS4. We've been on that mostly now.
Yeah, I'm the guy that's I'm the Xbox guy, and my brother here is the PS4 guy.
Yeah.
Get out! But you need to get out of here with that Xbox. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
come on, man, you too? Come on.
I had a PlayStation 3 for the longest, and then my parents bought me and my brothers 360, and I just told them like, y'all play that. Like I'm PlayStation, I'll play. I don't
Oh man,
Never.
I picked the wrong goddamn person to interview.
So
Never. Although the only reason, like I did have like the original Xbox, but the only reason I wanted it was because they had Shenmue 2, and after I got done playing Shenmue on Dreamcast, like I needed to play that game. I never finished it, so like part of me wants to go to like some halfway house game store and just get an Xbox just so I can play Shenmue 2 to the
He
end.
said a halfway house.
are there any other games that you're playing right now besides Grand Theft?
I just I have The Last of Us, the remastered edition, which I got into a lot. I really want to finish that off. I just downloaded Mercenary Kings, which is dope. Like if you ever played Metal Slug and Contra, like you will like Mercenary Kings. It is awesome.
I think I'll definitely check that out.
And it's just like your normal side scroller with like mercenaries, and you can upgrade your guns and your armor, and it's such a throwback, but it's so good. And it's like you can play 2 players on the screen at a time, or if you play online, you can play up to 4 players. But it's yeah, if you like that whole side scrolling type of Contra style play, like yeah, it's dope.
That's what's up. That's what's
Nice. Nice.
And I play sports too. Like I'm a Madden freak, so I like playing that.
Oh yeah, me too, dude. I love Madden.
Yeah, we're actually gonna cop the next one when it comes out. We've been playing mostly NHL now.
Yeah, we play a lot of hockey over here.
I like NHL, but see, y'all probably play with the Rangers because y'all in New York, right?
I play with Rangers and Boston.
Yeah, he plays with like the Rangers and Boston, and I'll switch between the Islanders and the Kings. So we always have the alternate team.
Oh,
I used the Red Wings too.
And Chicago Blackhawks.
Blackhawks, yeah.
Yeah, I almost stick exclusively to my Bruins. So.
The Bruins, yeah.
Always the Bruins.
Oh man, you're upsetting me more and more every time we speak.
He's a Boston guy. Pats, Celtics.
Exactly. I follow every New England team. So it's the what is it? The Bruins, Red Sox, Celtics, Patriots, Revolution. Shoot, UMass. I like UMass.
Even Revolution.
You said the Revolution.
Yeah,
the
soccer team.
Why are you Spanish? You're supposed to like soccer.
No, oh, come on. You don't play that card? I hate soccer. I hate it. Dude, I am a Boston Red Sox fan, though.
Oh,
yeah. The Red Sox, this is a safe house for a Red Sox fan.
Yeah, I'm Red Sox all day. Like, if I was back home, I get upset because, like I can't watch the games down here. The only time it plays down here is if they're playing, like, Florida or Tampa Bay.
Yeah. You must be excited about acquiring that new shortstop today, then, right?
Yeah, the Cuban dude.
Yeah, dude. Red Sox gonna be an offensive beast this year.
Yeah, but I heard they got to pay out their ass for him. Like they pretty much almost paying double because they're over the cap.
Yeah.
Well, they're over something where like they're paying him like 33, but after it's said and done, they end up paying like 66 or something like that.
Jeez. So, yeah.
I don't know.
That's insane. That's insane. Back off of the sports, we kind of veered a little bit. What do you think about Jason Momoa, Aquaman?
Dude, that dude looks dope as Aquaman. Like, I don't mind. Like, I'm not one of those people who thought like Aquaman was this terrible, superhero. Like,
I am.
Yeah.
But like, that don't bother me that much. But like, dude, he looks like Poseidon.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that like his tribal tattoos look like the scales. Like that shit is sick.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
That is dope.
They did a really good job with him.
Yeah, I'm one of the Aquaman haters that you mentioned. I never liked it. But when I saw this, I was like, this is gonna be badass if they do it right.
Yeah.
And he gave off the right impression. He definitely did.
Yeah. It's the first time I ever looked at Aquaman and was like, he looks menacing. Like he could be a villain if he wanted to be, just based off the look. So that's why I like how badass it looks.
I guess that's the DC protocol. I mean, they really like the dark image for villains and the heroes, like trying to give it like a realistic feel to it. Because I don't think Aquaman could come at anybody with like an orange little shirt and stuff.
I think they're just trying to go for like a different feel to their movies than Marvel. Like, did you have like Guardians of the Galaxy?
I loved that movie. It's one of my favorites. One of my favorite Marvel movies.
I wasn't really that big a fan of it. I thought it was overrated. I didn't think it was bad. I just didn't think it was as great as everybody said it was.
Really?
Yeah.
You didn't like the talking raccoon?
No, I love.
Oh, Star Fox?
That's not Star Fox.
No, but what happened was like some of the comedy in that movie. Like, I get it; it's supposed to be like an action comedy, but sometimes sometimes the comedy just pulls me out of the movie. Like the opening, like even in the opening sequence, I get they're just getting the credits in there, but watching Star-Lord, dance through a cave, it kind of pulled me out of the movie. I was like, okay, like he wouldn't really be dancing through a cave like that for that long, but it's one of those things. Like I liked it. I didn't think it was bad. It's just like everybody was like, "Oh, it's the greatest movie. It's awesome," and I didn't get that feeling off.
Awesome.
I'm one of those people that prefers The Dark Knight Rises over Avengers.
Really?
Wow.
That's
yes.
and it's one of those things where I'm kind of torn. I wouldn't even know how to pick between the two.
I think they're both great movies. I think they both have their lane. They both stayed in their lane. They both do their thing.
Right.
I think the only reason I put Dark Knight Rises over the Avengers is at no point in the Avengers did I think the Avengers would lose. But in the Dark Knight Rises, you had no idea where it was going. You had no idea if Batman was going to succeed. And
that's very true. At the same time, I feel like he's Batman. He's never going to lose.
Batman doesn't lose.
Regardless of whether he might lose in a comic or two every once in a while. In these movies, Batman is never going to lose.
Yeah, but I mean, in that movie, it felt like it had stakes to it.
Right.
It felt like they had a real stakes going on, like shit was about to go down. In the Avengers, like, it's hard to feel like there's real stakes going on because they're cracking jokes in the middle of a battle. So,
very true.
Right. Well, that's basically everything we have for you. I don't want to take too much more of your time. Guys,
actually, I do want to ask you guys a question.
Sure.
Because I think I feel like you guys might be able to give me a good conversation about this. What do you guys feel about Mayweather Pacquiao?
Oh, is that what we're doing? I feel like, oh man, I feel like Pacquiao knocks him the fuck out. I feel like it goes like 6 rounds, tops.
I don't know. I'm a Pacquiao fan to the fullest.
Of course, you're Asian.
I think that obviously, and I think Pacquiao is going to win. I don't see it happening. I don't see Mayweather, picking Pacquiao apart. I don't see Pacquiao beating the shit out of Mayweather. I see, y'all can decipher this if y'all want, but I see like Pacquiao starting off quick and Mayweather, trying to get his timing down. But by the time he gets his timing down, I think Pacquiao is going to be high enough on points to where Mayweather is really he's going to have to like open up a little bit. And then at that point, I don't know if he can catch up in points.
I feel like the reason it even goes 6 rounds is because Mayweather's going to do what he always does. He's going to dance for 3 or 4 rounds. He's going to run and circle and maneuver, and it's going to be boring. And then Pacquiao's going to catch that motherfucker. And that's when it's over. You don't want Pacquiao to catch you. That's always a problem for anyone on the other side.
See, Mayweather can take a punch, because we saw that shot he took from Mosley, like, it buckled his knees, but he came back. Like,
can he take a Pacquiao punch though?
I think I don't know, but like I think the big like variable is Pacquiao's speed and accuracy, because like I know he's gonna Mayweather's gonna dance around and maybe not get caught, but I think Pacquiao's accurate enough to where he's gonna catch him more times than he thinks, to where Mayweather's gonna have to fight. He's not gonna be able to just dance around and just pick a couple punches and win on points. I think Pacquiao's gonna be high up there on points, to where he's gonna have to try to like have dominant rounds.
Yeah, like me personally, I think if Pacquiao doesn't knock him out, I think Mayweather might try to sneak out on points. Like it just. Well, that's his thing.
I think Mayweather is gonna like. I think the only way Mayweather wins is on points. To me, the only question is Pacquiao dominant enough to where they can't look at it and say it was close, we'll give it to Mayweather? Because I think if it's close, they'll give it to Mayweather.
Yeah, definitely.
Just because they're not going to let him lose his undefeated streak on a close fight by points.
Yeah.
So it's going to have to be either Pacquiao popping him enough to where people are like, okay, he hit that motherfucker a bunch of times to where he won that fight, or Pacquiao has to knock him out. But,
yeah, I totally agree. It has to be decisive. It has to be a decisive win if they're going to give it to Pacquiao, if it ends up in decision.
I think Pacquiao knocks him out, but that's just me. I think we see the biggest upset in the world when that fight happens.
I would love for Pacquiao to knock him out. Oh, it would make me so happy.
Me too.
As a realist, I just don't see it happen.
Yeah.
True. There's going to be a lot of opinions flying around between now and May 2nd, man.
Yeah, I mean if Taker lost at Mania, this guy could lose.
It's gonna be like one of those. Like people are gonna be sitting there like, what happened? The thing is, I don't think people. If Mayweather loses, I don't think people will be that shocked because it's Pacquiao.
No, I think people are going to be excited. I think Mayweather's got more haters than he has fans at this point.
Yeah, I think people would be more. I think after this fight, win or lose, people would have been more shocked at the Maidana fight. Maidana won than this fight, just because no one expected Maidana to come at Mayweather like that. So they were shocked to see Mayweather get pounded the way he did. Like, I just think even if it's close, people are gonna be like, "That's Pacquiao." Like, what did you expect?
Yeah.
Yep.
Very true.
Absolutely. So, in closing, guys, again, you can see Sarath as Mikaze, the American Sasuke Mikaze. I got that right this time, right?
Yes, the American Sasuke.
The American Sasuke. Mizaki.
What?
Mikaze. God, Jesus Christ.
You still messed it
Asians.
up. No, you messed it up. He just told you, bro.
Mikaze.
You need a couple more mouth hours, you'll have it right, man.
You know what's funny is I'm looking at it on the paper like I can't fucking read. You can catch Mikaze at the Boston Pro Wrestling Marathon. He's going to be wrestling on March 7th, but the marathon is going on from March 6th through March 8th at Emerald Hall, 30 Central, Abington, Massachusetts. The show is to benefit the American Red Cross. The announcers on their website, they're going to be having Q&As with a lot of the wrestlers from the past 30 years from many different companies.
Like, if you're a wrestling fan, make sure you go out there. You're going to have, like, Tommy Dreamer and Shane Douglas, like, tons of names.
The franchise!
Tons of, like, names from the last 30 years of wrestling that were up there are all going to be there, and it's to benefit, the victims of the Boston Marathon bombing and the American Red Cross. It's a good night out. Just go out there and support. Like, what else you going to do? It's snowing. Go out there and watch some wrestling.
Yeah, there
exactly.
You go. You're helping people, and you're getting good matches.
You're getting good matches, and cheer your ass off for Mikaze. That's what you have to do when you get there. You guys can find this information on our website, DynamiteFox.com. I did post a little section on Mikaze and the event in Boston, the Boston Pro Wrestling Marathon. I posted the links of where you can buy tickets, the links to their Facebook, also the Facebook to the Mikaze Facebook page and his Twitter. You can find all that on DynamiteFox.com. We want to thank you, Mikaze, Sarath, for
no problem at all, man. It was fun. It was fun. It was very informative.
For us,
learned a lot about you.
Definitely, we learned a lot about you, a little bit about the business, a lot of things, and I haven't really spoke to you since I think I saw you at NXT. I think I saw you at an NXT show last.
Yeah. I saw you. I think I saw you, like outside of the NXT show.
Right after the show, because I was trying to find you in the crowd, and then you found me on Facebook. Right. So, again, thank you for giving us the opportunity to interview you and give people a chance to know about Mikaze and about Sarath, the guy behind Mikaze.
Hey, man, thank you guys for having me. Like, it's anytime someone wants to take the time out of their day to talk to me, like, I'm appreciative of that. So, like, thank you. It means a lot.
Definitely. Hopefully in the future we can get you back on here at some point. That would be awesome, because this is definitely one of the best interviews we've done.
Yeah.
No problem, man. If I ever win an Oscar, man, I'm coming here.
Hell yeah. You win an Oscar or a title match.
Yeah, exactly. If I win a title anytime soon, like, I'm making sure I let y'all know to have me back so we can celebrate my title win.
And quick thing before you go, if you're ever doing a show in New York, please let us know out here so we can get out to the show and maybe even bring you to the podcast personally. That would be awesome.
Oh, dude, that would be dope, man. Like, there's a chance, like, they hold these Wrestle Jam shows in Connecticut, like Southern Connecticut, like Wilmington or some shit like that.
Right.
So, like, it's far enough south to where it's not too far from New York. So if I'm ever down there, because for one of those shows again, I will let you know, and maybe we can meet up halfway.
Definitely. So, guys, go see Mikaze at the Boston Pro Wrestling Marathon. Again, that's on our website, dynamitefox.com. And Mikaze, thank you.
No problem, man. No problem. Anytime.
All right, man.
All right. Peace.
Take it easy, man.
Guys, that was Mikaze Sarath Tan. Thank you for listening to the Dynamite Fox show. That is 1 hour. We're going to stop there for you on this episode. Tony, anything to say?
Go give the Facebook page a like and
Again,
get those tickets.
Right. 2 free AMC movie tickets just for liking our Facebook fan page. DynamiteFox.com. Click on the Facebook link. And also go see Mikaze while you're there.
Take it easy, guys.